Hey guys, in this short video we're going to look at AS9100, specifically around the area of ERP and how a well-implemented ERP system can support AS9100 in your organization. So if you're watching this video, chances are you have a pretty good idea what AS9100 is. Give me 20 seconds if you don't, and don't turn off if you do. So AS9100, look, that's come out of some American standards basically, going back to the mid-90s when the American government were adopting ISO 9001 for their standards and rolling that out to their suppliers, insisting that the prime defence suppliers and things conform to ISO 9001. And really some shortcomings in that standard for aerospace and military and defence type suppliers and customers. And so what they did is they came up with AS9000, which was a US based standard, and then later on in 1999 rolled that out as AS9100, which is a global standard. So what this is about, it's about traceability. It's very much aligned with ISO 9001. So you have the quality requirements of the quality control system and manual and things in place. But then on top of that, largely about traceability and build control, specific to the aerospace and defense markets. And so the kind of things that you would need to have in place if you were an AS9100 customer, well, you'd need to have really good build control. What I mean by that is kind of configuration control, knowing exactly how to build something with documented procedures. And in fact, documentations for your equipment, your tools, your programs and procedures, and work instructions, things like that, everything well documented so that things were built to the correct specification. Now an ERP system will support in that by having a bill of materials and routing program that can clearly define those things. ERP systems such as 123 can have a whole load of supporting documents as well that can either be electronically viewed when an operator says they're starting a job, or printed to go out with a works order to create a job pack, but giving you that real kind of control over the build and the configuration. Other things that you need to consider are things like shelf life of components for manufacture. So certainly things like glues, resins, thinners, things like that would have to have controlled shelf life and the ability to document and to show an audit trail of that shelf life. Things for the purchasing teams, such as the flow down to approved suppliers of information, so a complete specification for suppliers as to what they should supply, the ability to maintain approved supplier lists and things like that, and the ability to control communications with those suppliers. So think CRM, but not customer relationship management, but more communications management with your suppliers and things. So a supplier relationship management type tool, all of which ERP systems can, to a lesser or greater extent, supply. Certainly 123 Insight, we supply those in spades really, and have really, really good and strong capabilities in those areas. So where that's coming to is what you need for your AS9100 is really good control over your supply chain and over your manufacture. On top of that, you need good traceability. So a system like 123 Insight, well, once you've built something with our system, if you wanted to do this and you turn these options on without tripping you up along the way or tying you in knots and kind of a slow and painful type ERP, but without doing all of that, just by people doing their job, you'd be able to capture and audit information like this. So who built these parts, what order were they built for, what tools were used in building them, were those tools calibrated, did the people building them have the right skill levels to do so? If not, the system would have stopped them from doing it. What test results did we get on them, what inspection routines were done? With those test results, what was the pass and failure rate? If any rework was done, who did it, what did they do, and then was it retested? And all of those things kind of in 123 would filter into auditable reports that you could even pass on to your customers with the units you're producing and say, look, this is the complete build history of this specific unit. So look, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about those kind of things and how ERP could support in processes like that, look, do come along to one of our free events. We've got info exchanges, which are short events. We've got evaluation workshops, so kind of 2-3 hour type events where we'll give a lot of information, lots of time for Q&A on those kind of things as well. If you do that, let us know that you are an AS9100 customer and that you have strong interest in these things. We'll take some time specifically to talk to you and to show you how 123 Insight can help support and grow your organization in line with AS9100.
To learn more, visit our website or book to attend one of our free educational events. You'll even receive a free paperback copy of our book, How to Implement a Manufacturing System, just for attending.